Hi everyone, this is Renu Rai with Crop Production and Management. Today we are going to revise this chapter and we are going to learn about ploughing, then leveling, and then adding manures and fertilizers. So, first we'll have to start with ploughing. What do we mean by ploughing? Why the farmers do the ploughing? How do we do this process? And what we will done exactly in the ploughing. So, ploughing is nothing, it is the loosening and turning of the soil. So, loosening and turning of the soil called tilling or ploughing. As you can see in this picture, this farmer is doing loosening and turning process of the soil so that the soil get exposed to the outer surface and we can sow the seeds properly, we can irrigate the field properly. But the question is how we will do that. What is the implement through which we can do this process? So there is certain agricultural implement which helps in ploughing, and that is hoe. One of them is hoe, which is helping in removing the weeds and also helps in loosening and turning of the soil. So it is made basically there is a bent plate which is made up of with iron, and that helps to remove that weeds and helps in turning the soil. And the next one is cultivator. That cultivator is modern machine which is driven by the tractor instead of animals. Now this cultivator, it is actually a plow which is driven by the tractor, so it is known as cultivator. And that cultivator helps in irrigate sorry helps in loosening and turning of the soil. And basically, what is the advantage of this cultivator? It saves time and human labor. Now, the next one is it is very much traditional implement which is which helps by the farmers, which is used by the farmers, and it is actually it is driven by the like your animals, that like bull or other organisms, so it is drawn by the animals. So this is traditional implement called plow. So we have understood till what is the implements which is using in this plowing process. Now we'll have to understand why we'll do this process. What is the advantages of this plowing? Okay, so let us understand. So plowing is actually, it helps or it allows root to penetrate deep into the soil. Like what happens when you turn the soil, when you loosen the soil get more space so that root can penetrate deeper into the soil, and it also allows root to breathe, so that when we make the soil spacious, so that air can enter into the soil, so that roots also can breathe. Now, it also helps in the growth of earthworms and microbes. As we know that these earthworms are farmers' friend, that earthworms also helps in loosening the soil. How? When they move into the soil, they turn the soil. So their excreta, they are actually the humus for the plant, for the soil. So they enrich the soil into the nutrients, and it also helps in the growth of microbes. As we know that these microbes are very important because they helps in nitrogen fixation, and these microbes, some free living bacteria, some other microorganisms, they live inside the soil, and they helps in promote nutrients to the soil. So ploughing helps in promoting the growth of microbes and earthworms. And most importantly, it brings the nutrient rich soil on the top. What do we mean by that? Students, as we know that these nutrients are get buried into the soil, they are deeper into the soil. So ploughing help them to expose to the outer surface. So how these nutrients you will get? You know that after the death and decaying of organic matter, like death and decaying of plants and animals, they get buried into the soil, and some decomposer bacteria, they decompose that dead and decaying material, and they convert into the nutrient. So these nutrients are basically deeper into the soil. So when we do the ploughing process, they helps to turn the soil into the top. So that is how the nutrient rich soil will come up to the edge of the soil or to the outer surface of the soil. So these are the advantages of ploughing. Understood? Now the next step is leveling. After ploughing, we level the field. So why do we do this and how do we do this? Let us understand. As you can see in this picture, this is a leveler. So what happens after the ploughing? There is some big crumbs of the soil, they come to the surface, and we could not throw the seeds into that kind of soil. So first we'll have to level them. So what do we mean by the crumbs? Crumbs, it is the big pieces of soil, they are called crumbs. So what happens, these crumbs, because of leveling, that helps to break big clumps of the soil, and that is how we can sow the seeds properly. So this leveling makes the surface even, and that is how we can sow the seeds properly. That means equal distribution of water, equal distribution of manure, equal distribution of seeds. So what are the advantage of this leveling? Leveling actually helps in protecting the soil from being eroded. Matlab soil, we can protect them from soil erosion, and it also promote irrigation. That means proper distribution of irrigation. So that is the advantage of leveling. After leveling, what we will do, we do the manuring process. So what is manuring? Manuring means adding manures and fertilizers so that we could make the soil enrich into the nutrients. So that is called manuring. Now, what is manure? It is an organic matter that is used as organic fertilizers in agriculture to make the soil fertile, like the dead waste of plants, animals, and human beings, and excreta of human beings, animals, and other waste. These on decomposition give organic product called manures. So decomposition is being done by the bacteria, which is a decomposer bacteria, that decompose that organic matter and turn into manure, which helps in making the soil fertile. And what is fertilizers? So fertilizers are nothing, it is a chemical substance which is prepared in factories, for example NPK and urea. Now students, that's all for the day. In next session we will study about the next step of agricultural practices, that is sowing of seeds and irrigation. Till then, thank you.